name is Belinda Dowston, and it is wonderful, as always, that you are here with me and we are focusing together on the week commencing the 27th of July 2026, the last few days of July into August. I'm still struggling to deal with this year. I still think it's January, but here we are, right? The week of the 27th of July. Last week we had our beauty, our shining, our radiance, Hexagram 22 grace, Hexagram 30 radiance, that changing line coming to challenge us on do we go bright and exuberant or simple, focusing on the white-winged horse, seeing it as a helper, not as an enemy, and really focusing on how we shine brightly, that symbol of the sunflower, absorbing all the sun and shining ourselves brilliantly and simply for others, creating an opportunity to bring people together and to create clarity, right? Clarity of our beauty, clarity of our ideas, and holding that space for others to achieve that clarity too. What came up for you last week? Please do share a comment. This week, our first hexagram that's coming to bless us is hexagram 64, before completion. With I Ching, there are 64 hexagrams, and it's always interesting that 63 and 64, who are the last two, are about completion, whereas hexagram 1 and 2 are about beginnings, two facets of beginnings, one being the seed, two being the earth. Here we have two parts of completion. And 64, which you'd think is the completion, is actually before completion, and 63 is after completion. Okay, that's how these interesting dynamics flow in the I Ching. Okay, working with the seed of one thing begins in the seed of the other. So in hexagram 64, we are about to embark on the final phase. Okay, there's something here where we are bringing something to a close. We are heading to the transition point. Okay, perhaps we have been working on something for a while and it's been building up, and now is the moment to make the crossing, okay, to make the change, to complete it, which we can see symbolically often in the language of the I Ching is a big wide river, and we need to cross the great water. We need to undertake the challenge, and in this case, undertaking this challenge, crossing the river, is the final step to completing a journey, a project, a phase, a life happening. Okay, we are crossing the great water. But you can also see this idea of crossing in the symbol of summiting a mountain. Okay, not many of us will ever worry about crossing the Amazon or summiting Everest, but it's that kind of symbol of we've got this last little push. It's summit night, okay, and we have been working and working and working and working to get to this point, and we're getting ready to go live. We're getting ready to complete. We're getting ready to switch on. Whatever this thing is that we've been working on, there is a last little phase of work that we need to do. The last little bit before we reach the summit. What is really important about this phase is how dangerous it is to rush it. Okay. Anybody knows anything about climbing mountains, all right, you know that that last push for the summit needs to be careful and planned and considerate and paced. You don't rush it, you don't push relentlessly and throw all your weight behind getting to that summit as quickly as possible, because you are going to die on the mountain. Okay, it's not that. We have a vision, we can see the end, and there's the temptation to rush it and take shortcuts, because now we just want to get going. We want to do it, okay? And there's a temptation to rush it. But that is exactly when we must be most careful and cautious and thoughtful about every step to finish the job. Okay. Perhaps you're coming to the tail end of a project. Perhaps you've been working on a big health process. Whatever it is for you that's been a big journey that you are about to complete, this is where our attention is going. How we finish those last few steps. We have an attitude, a mind that says this is where we bring everything. This is the moment where all our focus, all our skills, all our resources come together to help us make this crossing across the Amazon, okay, up to the summit of Everest. We have a plan, we have resources, we have the right mindset, we are focused, and we are critically aware of our crew, how everyone's doing, and what is happening as we cross as a team, because we never cross these big things alone. Even someone climbing Everest, they have a Sherpa team and they have a base team and they have a whole lot of things that support them to get to their end result. It's not alone. We're always part of a team, a collective. So we are focusing on this last stage of finishing, putting one foot in front of the other, right? As we ascend, as we cross. One changing line in the third position. So here we are, okay, the crossing of the chasm. We know from our bottom trigram and top trigram, that bit in between, we go from 3 to 4, trickiness. We are crossing some kind of liminal space, okay, to get to the second part of the hexagram, to transcend and grow through the hexagram. Changing line 3 says, right, we're now standing in front of this great river. We're eyeballing it, okay? And we need to cross. We've reached this chasm. It is time to cross. Whether you think of a chasm as being a ladder across a crevasse, all right, the blue ice beneath you, or whether you see that chasm or that crossing being this river. And you get it, and it is time to go. It's showtime, right? It's time to move towards completion. But you just don't have the strength. There's risk, okay? The risk is that not having the strength, or the resources, or the right people in place, or the right communication, whatever it is, that we push ahead anyway, and we're going to drown. Okay, that's what's going to happen, all right? It's going to falter. What we have to do is we have to just take a moment on that riverbank, okay, before we cross, is just gather ourselves together, hold the clarity of the vision of what this thing is about, what the crossing is about, what's at stake, what's important. Hold that vision. Draw your team close. Make sure everyone's got the right equipment. Call on helpers. Okay, there's a transformative process of drawing in what you need, pulling on your network, finding the people who are supportive of you and enabling them to help. And you draw all these helpers in, and everyone's got a clear vision, clear focus, and you wait until the right time, and then you go. And the command, you blow on the horn. It's that kind of idea of not being random and sporadic and just, well, we'll just go and then I'm sure we'll work it out as we go. There's something here this week where the crossing requires focus and clarity and team, resources. Because doing it alone, okay, you don't have enough strength. And it's about sucking it all up. Right, and with like a laser beam, like an arrowhead of a crew, right, where you are at the point of that crew with the clarity of vision and focus and strength, fortitude, and then we cross, and then we're victorious. Okay, that is what this week is calling us to focus on. One changing line, right, it gives us a second hexagram, and that is hexagram 50, the cauldron. One of the few symbols in the hexagrams that are man-made, okay? And it is a symbol of a vessel, a structure, a container for ideas, for transformation, for light. The cauldron has a fire underneath it, right? We put ingredients into the cauldron, we put the lid on, and we let the process percolate. And once it's finished, once we are able to complete the process, we lift the lid on the cauldron and there's a delicious meal. Now we've made this crossing across the river, and on the other side is the opportunity to lift the lid and to ladle out a delicious hot meal for our wet bedraggled crew that got across, right? Got across the river, but are perhaps a little worse for wear and are needing some energy back. And so we see the idea of the cauldron as a vehicle for the vision, for the magic that happens when we have intentionality, when we have focus, when we put in the raw ingredients and we let the transformation process bubble, okay, all right, bubbles away. And this journey of magic that happens, I often see this hexagram as being one of magic, where we affirm, we are clear, we put the right ingredients into the pot, we trust the cauldron is cooking, we trust the fire, we tend it, and we let the process transform us. There's a transformation power in this week where we are churning ourselves over, where our ideas are churning over, and they are going from raw ingredients, raw kind of roughly chopped ideas, into something absolutely wonderful and new. We are being transformed. All right, this is not a lightning bolt out of the sky to shock us into a new state. This is a transformation, a change, a turning over of our thoughts, of our beliefs, of what we can do, of what we're trying to do, or where we are, where we're going, and the people around us who have sat around that cauldron and shared the meal with us, because we've crossed together and we've done something extraordinary. We have transcended something, we've achieved something, and we've reached a point of being deeply changed by the journey and being open that the journey itself is changing us in ways we couldn't possibly imagine. And just giving us permission at the end of whatever this journey is that you have been on, okay, this transformation, this long journey of summiting, that fundamentally it's changing us for the better. It's realigning ourselves back to who we really are, what we are really here to do, and what it is that we really need to do next. And it is that willingness to let go of our belief system around who we are and what we're here to do, and be willing to embrace something that might be radically different. You wake up one morning and you think, I'm no longer that person, I'm this person, and my needs are now different. Right? Where I am, my attention, my focus, my thoughts, I'm a different person. And the willingness to let the old person go and let this cauldron transform us into something new is a powerful thought for us to take into this week. It will allow us to create that little opening that as we cross the river, something truly magical and weird can happen. Okay, that something that maybe has been sitting with us, a belief system, for a very long time can suddenly be gone and something new can be in its place. And we haven't even realized what has been cooking away in this cauldron and what our external life circumstances and issues have been to create the change. We interact with our external world and we don't really know how that is feeding back and transforming us in really meaningful ways. But we have to be willing to be somebody different, as opposed to, I have a fixed view of myself and what I'm here to do and what this means to me, and create space that it could be something better and more beautiful and more powerful, yet completely different, or similar and different in meaningful ways. Okay, let's see. What is the transformation that we unlock? The awareness we reach this week of something that's deeply changed. Because we've been in this cauldron, turning over, turning over. We are being masticated by this cauldron, by the life circumstances we're in. We're in a cauldron ourselves, and we are turning over into something else, into a meal to be shared. Although that sounds really terrible. I've just said that. But anyway, you get what I mean. Okay, so thank you so much for being here with me this week. I look forward to connecting with you soon. If this was valuable, a thumbs up, a like would be super. And of course, if you are new to the channel, the podcast, hit the follow button or the subscribe button to receive episodes into your app. And I look forward to connecting with you very soon for our monthly I Ching forecast for August 2026. Until then, take care.